All right, hello and welcome to another walkthrough on how to install .NET on a Windows-based system. I'm running Windows 10, but if you're running Windows 11, you should have no issue following along. The installation process will be exactly the same. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just open up a browser tab here and just navigate over or search for .NET download. And the first option that's going to give me https://.net.microsoft.com. That's the one I want to go to. And you have two options for Windows. You have .NET 7 or .NET 6. I'm going to use .NET 6 because .NET 6 is LTS, long-term support, which is supported for multiple years, as opposed to .NET 7, which is an interim release. So on the bottom here, you see where it says all .NET 6.0 downloads. I'm just going to click on that one and navigate over to the latest one up here. So the SDK version is going to be 6.0.404, which is what I want, because we're going to be building application. If you only just want to run stuff, then you don't want the SDK, you want the runtime. But since I'm going to be using it for development, I'm going to select the SDK download version. So on the table here, you see it says Windows. You have an option of which platform you're running. If you're running a 32-bit system, you want to select x86. If you're running a 64-bit system like I'm running, then you want to select the x64. If you're running ARM64, then that's a different story. But I'll skip all that one. So once we download the SDK, the additional stuff that's going to be installed with it is .NET Runtime and also the ASP.NET Core runtime and also the desktop runtime. So what that means is it allows you to build desktop applications, allows you to build web applications if you need to. And the C# version that's going to be that's going to come along with this SDK is 10. If you develop in F#, it's going to be 6.0, and if you do Visual Basic, it's 16.9. So I'm just going to click on the x64 here to start up the download process. That's fine. If you see the one here, just downloaded earlier. That's fine. So I'm just going to go downloads. I'm going to open that one. So once I click on open file, it's just going to show me the installer. And you can read through the privacy statements if you want to by visiting the links here. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click on the install to initialize the process. It's going to prompt you through UAC if you want to allow the installer to run. Just make sure it's the Microsoft.NET SDK installer that's asking that, and just click yes. And just let it go through the installation process. So it's done, and as I indicated earlier, this is what it installed. It installed the SDK and installed a couple of runtimes for us to develop a desktop application and web-based applications. And then I will just close that one, exit this browser, and to verify that it's actually set up on a system, I'm just going to open up a PowerShell instance here. And what I'm going to do is .NET first, check the version. As you can see, it's 6.0.404. And then if I do .NET new, we'll use --list. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so, and as you can see, these are all the project templates that are available for us to kind of start developing it, right? So if you want to develop a Blazor application or web API, whatever, they're available to you through this installation. Now, I just want to mention this real quickly here, and you don't have to kind of go through it, but a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take you over to Visual Studio and kind of have you download the Visual Studio IDE, the Community Edition, and then it comes with an installer, graphical user interface installer that allows you to select the same options that I kind of walked you through. I don't want to force you. Then the reason I didn't take it down this path is I didn't want to force you to use a specific IDE. You're free to choose which IDE you want. If you want to use Visual Studio, if you want to use Visual Studio Code, or if you want to use a different IDE like JetBrains Writer, for example, then you can definitely, you have the option, you have that flexibility with the download method, download and installation method that I kind of showed you. And even if you do later on decide that, hey, I want to use Visual Studio, Once you download Visual Studio IDE, it will automatically detect that you have .NET installed in your system, and it will just kind of pick up from there and install additional stuff that it needs to run. So I just wanted to kind of point this out here, just to kind of point it out. And this is essentially it. Thank you again for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and have a great day. Thank you.